Thanks so much for joining us here on Local Decision 2024. I'm Eric Nelson, and now we're going to speak with Andrew Hallberg, running for City Council in Ham Lake. And Andrew, we appreciate you coming down to the North Metro TV studios. First and foremost, we always ask everybody to give a little bio on themselves and tell the viewers why you're running.
Yeah, absolutely. I was born in 1989. I've lived in Ham Lake the better part of my life. Other than a couple years in high school and in college being away from here. So for about 29 years I've been in Ham Lake. From a home on East Lake Netta Drive, that's where I was born and the first handful of years of life. I've owned a house over on the corner of Bunker and Lexington, a horse farm over there, to my current home, which is on Crosstown. So I'm very familiar with Ham Lake. I've seen it change a lot over the years. You know, I kind of think about it when I was younger. 7 years old, riding bicycle between my house and my grandparents' house. Riding up to Burger King. All the stuff that. And now you look at the traffic on the roads, and it kind of seems crazy from where we were to where we are now. But yeah, other than a couple years in high school and college being away, I work at a family business in Wyoming, Minnesota, a marine dealership, and I'm a sales manager up there. I love being involved with the community in some aspect. I coached wrestling for Andover High School from 2013 till 2021. I've been done with that for a couple years now, and then kind of looking for my next role, next way to get involved with the community, with the city.
So in your background, what experiences do you believe have gotten you ready to be on the City Council? Well,
I've always, all the way through high school, maybe it's something with my upbringing, my family. I've always felt a passion for leadership, for involvement. I've been a leader and a captain on every team that I've been on, and all the way through high school, college. I've enjoyed my time coaching and trying to help young men and women. There's a lot of women in wrestling now, helping them develop and into being contributing members, adults. And so, but between those things, and then just my role in business, I've started up 2 businesses in Ham Lake in the past 15 years, both of which catered to local citizens. And then now for 9 years now, I've been in sales management up at Hallberg Marine, and between sitting down and having business meetings, having meetings with our reps, having meetings with manufacturers and stuff, you get a sense of what it takes, organizational skills, what you can do to help, strategy, things that don't run so smooth right now that can be done better. So all those things I think have kind of given me a little bit of a step into running for City Council.
You mentioned the changes in Ham Lake from when you were a youngster to this point in time. Has the city changed for the better?
Well, let's put it this way. I think change happens, and there's going to be progress. There's going to be a farm that I used to four-wheel on that's now a development. There's going to be those changes, but I think that we've done it about as good as it could be done. I look at the current council and the previous mayor, the current mayor. I think Ham Lake has been very responsible in its governing. I look back to it. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but I guess it is. But driving down Main Street, and those were all fields there, and now it's the Lakes community. And then you come around the corner, and everything's getting developed there. You're coming up Lexington Avenue, and I love when you hit the Ham Lake city sign, and there's sod fields, and there's trees and wildlife between people's houses. And so, yeah, I I think as far as what the regulations are for building in Ham Lake, I think the people coming to Ham Lake are coming for the right reasons. They want a piece of that. It's like the border, big city living meets small town, and you can see it. I think our city has done a great job to this point.
So that signature phrase that Ham Lake uses, rural character. Mm-hmm. Define rural character.
Well, rural character, I'd put it right on the connections that you have with your neighbors, with the people in the community. One thing I learned from my dad, he's an old school kind of guy, and he's got some buildings that he's leased out to different businesses over the last handful of years. One being a softball training facility, now a woodworking shop, and he's the guy, before he ever went to city council, before he ever went to get a conditional use permit, he walked around to the neighbors that are around us, shook their hands, talked to them, said, this is what I'm thinking about doing. Is this going to be okay with you? I think that when you look at Ham Lake, it has kind of that small town feel, that vibe where, you have to do things by the book. You have to go in, you have to take the steps needed, but at the same time you go over and you shake somebody's hand, and that goes a long way.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great thing, and something we need more of in today's day and age.
Ham Lake looking at a property tax increase for 2025 at kind of a minimal number, 3% levy increase. Other surrounding cities, border towns, if you will, much higher. Is this the right way to go from the Ham Lake perspective?
Absolutely. The people that are in these positions right now, this is what they ran on. They ran on keeping taxes low, giving people landowners' rights, property owners' rights. But on the tax thing, it was funny, I was talking about this with some people the other day. As an elected official, I think there's such a duty there. I'm a working class person. I work a lot. I put a ton of effort into my work, and there are very few things that I think are more demoralizing than in all reality, when you look at it, you work the better part of your life. And to watch somebody spend your hard-earned money frivolously and foolishly, I think is very tough. It's in a sense demoralizing. So by Ham Lake being able to keep those numbers down, I think it's a way of our citizens' voice being heard on the level that they're able to control. You look at the national stage, and so much of that stuff feels unattainable, and it's out of your reach, out of your control. But this is what we can control, and I think by doing that, by keeping those taxes low, we're showing the people of the city that we care about what they think, and we're going to keep working for it.
What do you like to do in Ham Lake?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was very fortunate to be born into a family in the marine industry. If I'm not working, if I'm not selling, cleaning, doing all that on boats, I'm out boating myself. So I enjoy our lakes and stuff. I know, Coon Lake is just outside of our city limits, but that's one thing I take a ton of pride in. I don't know if you'll find many sales managers, many salespeople that when I go out on the lake, I look for a boat that we sold. And I love to go and reach out to those people and talk to them. And you could talk to anybody, and they would verify that this is what I do. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's enjoyable. Sometimes I get an earload about an issue. Good, bad, and different. I love the accountability. I like to be accountable to, in the business side of it, the people that we're serving. And I want to transition that to the city side of it, being accountable to the people that you're representing. But yeah, I mean, between boating, you'll see me on my bicycle quite a bit. I love to on a Sunday morning go put on 30, 40 miles and make my way around the city, neighboring cities. And then of course, like most people, take a lot of pride in my grass. So, I'll go straight this week. I'm at a cross hatch the next week, and, doing everything that True Green tells me is going to make my lawn look pretty, whether it does or not. But those are definitely some of my passions.
With your boating background and Minnesota being the land of lakes, Are you concerned about water and water quality?
100%. And actually, myself, most of our employees are certified lake access providers because the spread of invasive species, zebra mussels, Eurasian milfoil, we've got to the point now where I run a lot of boats to the lake and stuff, and when I pull out, the state has done a pretty good job of having watercraft inspectors at those locations, and I've created relationships with them because I'm at the lake quite a bit, and they understand that between myself, between our employees, that's what we're all in the same fight. We want to keep our waters clean. We want to keep our lakes thriving. So yeah, that stuff's extremely important.
If you get elected to the council, what would you like to accomplish?
I'll tell you what, it's tough to want to change a ton because I would say that Ham Lake has become I'd say a beacon of what responsible governing looks like. The fact that we've got a bond that's about to expire here and we'll be a debt-free city, which is pretty unheard of in today's day and age. They've done a lot of things right. What I'd like to accomplish is I want to make government more approachable. I did that when I was doing the startup businesses, and you spend a lot of time before you ever go to a council meeting or apply for the permits. You're spending time at night with the pen and paper, and the eraser gets used a lot. Mm-hmm. And you're coming up with a business plan and what's it going to take to be successful. And then you put all this stuff together. All these hours go into it, and then you go to the city hall, and everything's riding on whether they say yes or no. Now, I mean, of course, they say no. You work through your different business strategies to make it work with the city. But I remember being in that seat, and it's a tough spot to be. And I want to bring a very welcoming feel to the council. I don't want to go in and change a ton of things because the city's been operating very well. But I think that's somewhere that I can definitely be a benefit to the city.
All right, tell the viewers why they should vote for you, Andrew.
I've been a Ham Lake citizen my whole life. I know the values of the people in Ham Lake. I know what they want to see. They want to see our lot sizes at 1 acre. They want to see thriving wildlife around their homes. They want to keep taxes low. They want rights as property owners. These are all things that I believe in because they're things that I want too. And if we want to keep this city on the same track that it's on, running smooth, then I believe I'd be a great choice for the people.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Very good. He's Andrew Hallberg, running for City Council in Ham Lake. This is Local Decision 2024.